am angry for the millions of Americans who were silenced because of your decisions, because of your actions, because of your...
Make sure you go to LFRFamily.com and ask me about the bang bang attack.
Maybe a respected reporter who published much of the Twitter files said, quote, Twitter's contact with FBI was constant and pervasive, as if it were a subsidiary. Now, I want to better understand why he would suggest that. Mr. Roth.
Mrs. Boebert? This Mrs. Boebert? Is this Boebert or Boebert? Bert is Bert. Okay, she's a nice looking one too. Okay.
Who published much of the Twitter files said, quote, Twitter's contact with FBI was constant and pervasive, as if it were a subsidiary. Now, I want to better understand why he would suggest that. Mr. Roth, while at Twitter, how many meetings did you have with the FBI?
I couldn't say for sure, but I would
More
say
than 10?
That's a
More than
reasonable
20?
estimate. I couldn't say for sure.
More than 50?
That seems a bit high.
Many meetings with the FBI. Well,
why are you meeting with the FBI so damn much, bro? What the world?
well, we know how many FBI agents worked at Twitter while you were there?
I don't believe any active FBI
Former
agents.
FBI agents. How many worked there while you were there?
I'm aware of perhaps 2.
Wow. Why are FBI agents working at Twitter? He was like, no active. She's sharp too. She was listening. She saw that he was trying to walk it off. And she was like, former. Like real quick, you trying to stick to active former. I just want to know who was working there.
I'm aware of perhaps 2.
Well, we know of at least 9 because they started the BU group chat, BU for Bureau.
Wow. Get out of here. Wow. They even had their own separate group chat. 9 FBI agents working for Twitter. Get out of here. We are cooking with fish grease now, brother.
Now, Mr. Roth, did the FBI ever ask you to share information like users' communication data without going through proper legal channels?
No, they did not, and I would have refused if they had.
That's correct. I see that you denied Agent Chan's request for access to Twitter's data feed.
Okay, at least he's not a liar, whoever that gentleman is. Well, he hasn't lied so far.
What's sick isn't that you would deny it. It's that the FBI would even ask you for the private data of American citizens without going through legal channels of the law.
Wow.
Now, I want to remind you, Mr. Roth, that you are under oath. Did the FBI ever ask you to do anything that was illegal or questionably legal?
I'm not a lawyer, but certainly not to the best of my recollection or knowledge.
Now, from the hearing that I've been a part of today, it's almost impossible to tell where the FBI ends and where Twitter begins. We have Mr. Baker here, a former FBI agent, and there seems to be a revolving door between the FBI and Twitter itself. Even Mr. Baker said that there was no collusion with the federal government and Twitter. But Mr. Baker, that's you. You are the collusion between the federal government and the FBI. And now with it...
She told him right to his face. She said, you are the daggone collusion, brother. You, yes, you, Y-O-N-E, brother.
This is such a problem because we're seeing censorship all over. Mr. Roth, Miss Gaddy, did either of you approve the shadow banning of my account at Lauren Boebert? Yes or no?
No, I did not.
Not to the best of my recollection.
Well, let me refresh your memory, because on March 12th, 2021, and Mr. Roth, I know you looked at it because Fascist Twitter 1.0 had a public interest exceptions policy, which means for members of Congress to be shadow banned, it had to go before you, Mr. Roth. So I'll ask again, did you shadow ban my account? Yes or no?
Oh my gracious, she is sharp. In order to daggone shadow ban someone who's in Congress, it has to go in front of you, bruh. So again, did you shadow ban? Oh my, imagine being able to make somebody, not to my recollection, I don't know. That's all they gotta say is not to my recollection. I don't remember, I don't recall.
Again, not to the best of my recollection.
So the answer is, Mr. Roth, yes, you did. I found out last night from Twitter staff that you suppressed my account for this tweet. It's a freaking joke about Hillary Clinton being angry that she couldn't rig her election. It's a joke. But in response, being the sinister overlords that you all are, you placed a 90-day account filter so I could not be found. And now we see here that Twitter staff said the visibility filter on my account excluded me from top searches, prevented notifications for non-followers, and much more.
Wow, man. Y'all do realize that there's a bunch of daggone young, well, not young, but up and coming content creators who don't know anything about these rules, but as soon as they say something they don't know that they're not supposed to say, you put them on a 90-day hold where no one can see them? What type of mess is that, man?
This is considered an aggressive visibility filter. You silenced members of Congress from communicating with their constituents.
Wow.
You silenced me from communicating with the American people over a freaking joke. Now, who the hell do you think that you are? Election interference? Yeah, I would say that that was taking place because of you four sitting here. The Hunter Biden laptop story was suppressed. A sitting member of Congress was suppressed. A sitting president was banned from Twitter. You know, I bet that Putin is sitting in the Kremlin wishing he had as much election interference as you four here today. We've heard about threats to democracy. Well, what about shutting down a duly elected member of Congress? This is fundamental to our nation's governance.
Let me tell you something. She's on fire. She's been a little, emotional. She is. Shout out to her. I love the way she's doing it. But she's been a bit, emotional with it. But guess what? They deserve it. Every penny. What they deserve is a little bit more than just to sit there and look stupid while she just give them a piece of her mind. If there's no action that's coming behind this, what's the point of this? Their actions was already done. Now, they're being exposed, which is awesome. But most people probably already know what's going on, like a roundabout. They have a roundabout idea. They don't know specifically that once this happened, then for 90 days that happens. But she couldn't even put any information out there without them completely shutting her down. And they're not even supposed to do that when you're at a certain level. Apparently, I didn't know that either. But I should have, because they say some people play by their own rules. We don't play by the same rules as them. I want y'all to remember this. As much as y'all remember everything that she's saying that they was doing over Twitter, I want y'all to also understand the type of pull these politicians and celebrities have on these social media platforms. They can do and say and show whatever they want as long as they're friends with you.
And you all attacked that very foundation.
Wow.
230 protections? Well, those are for publishers, not for editors. And it's clear you were not acting as publishers, you were acting as editors. And Mr. Chairman, I think it's far past time that we remove 230 protections for big tech platforms who are abusing this protection.
What is 230? 230 protections. Courts have interrupted Section 230 as giving a legal shield to internet companies when they decide how to display third-party content. Gonzalez's family said that algorithmic recommendations are equivalent to editorial judgment and shouldn't be protected by the liability provision. How does Section 230 protect big tech? Section 230 of the Federal Communications Decency Act, an important law in the debate over content moderation, provides immunity to internet platforms from liability for the speech in which their users engage. Gracious, man. How do I lose? The courts have not clarified the line between acceptable editing and the point at which you become the information content provider. To the extent that your edits or comment change the meaning of the information and the new meaning is defamatory, you may lose the protection of Section 230. Wow. So they're saying there's only one form of information that they want to be out there. And then soon as you try to repurpose it or break it down in your own way or even give your opinion of it, it comes as if you're misleading and everything. This is nuts, man. This is nuts. So a publisher like New York Post can be held accountable. Technically, Facebook and Twitter can't be because they claim they aren't publishing, but they are because they're choosing what is shown. They're allowing certain people to be the publisher so that they won't take accountability for it. Then when somebody else publishes something, they can make up a rule saying that it's against community guidelines or it's false. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It's like, this our platform. We can do what we want to do. So shut up.
And let me just say, I'm not angry for myself. I'm not angry because I was silenced. I can reach out to Elon and to his staff, and I can see what's happened. And I can sit here today and hold you all in account. I am angry for the millions of Americans who were silenced because of your decisions, because of your actions, because of your collusion with the federal government. They can't reach out to Elon. They can't sit here today and hold you into account. We don't know where the FBI ends and Twitter begins. Free speech and even Twitter. Mr. Chairman, I yield.
You kick butt, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I kicked some ass. That's what I did. Mr. Chairman, is it okay if I go ahead and drop this mic now? Boom. Mic drop. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I need to follow some Boebert. She's a firecracker. I like her. Yeah. Don't forget to go to LFRFamily.com so you can ask me about the bang, bang, tea. Bang, bang, bang.